Hello, good evening. I'm Dr. Janice Morrow with American Mood Swings, and tonight we have Dr. Fareed Banimad from the American Addiction Institute of Mind Medicine here in Irvine, California. So he is an addiction specialist and he has a background in ER medicine, and we're very grateful that he's here tonight. Touch on alcohol. It's one of the opiates, but it's also a stimulant, as you mentioned. So, I want you to clarify that because it's widely misunderstood, very deadly, dangerous drug, and it's legal and accepted, and most people drink.
The class of drugs that alcohol is under is called the sedative hypnotic class. So there's a few classes: stimulants, the opiates, right?
Okay.
Which you called, I forgot what you referred to them, but it's usually just called the opiates and not depressants, but we think of it as opiates. So there's opiates, there's stimulants, for example, cocaine, meth. The class of drugs, the umbrella that alcohol falls under is sedative hypnotics. And so for comparison and for people to get their bearing, well, what else is in that class? Benzodiazepines, right? Xanax, Valium. Well, what else is in that class? Barbiturates, right? That was the drug of choice until the benzodiazepines came into the scene. What else is in that class? What we call the Z drugs, Ambien and things like that. These are all under the same umbrella. Whether you're talking about stimulants or opiates, okay, withdrawal from these medications or drugs does not kill you. It's painful, it's gut-wrenching at times, right? You feel like death, but the withdrawal doesn't kill you, all else being equal. What I mean by that is, let's say you have so much stress and you have a heart problem, okay, somebody could have but the drug itself directly, the withdrawal of the drug itself does not cause death. The one class of drugs which alcohol is under, sedative hypnotics, which the withdrawal can cause significant what you call morbidity and mortality, disease and death, the withdrawal, not the abuse of, and it's alcohol. Alcohol is in that class. Seizures that can lead to death. That's really important for people to understand. You don't want to stop benzodiazepines. You don't want to stop barbiturates. You don't want to stop drinking if you're a heavy drinker cold turkey on your own. If there's one set of drugs that you should seek medical professional advice before you stop using, it's that. The other thing I think you were referring to in terms of alcohol is, again, they're sedative hypnotic, so they put you to sleep or they slow you down or all that stuff. But alcohol is extremely interesting in its promiscuity and receptor types it hits. Acute alcohol intoxication has stages where it hits different areas of the brain, causing things like disinhibition, causing things of what people call as blackout. There's anterograde, retrograde memory, causing things like aggression, poor judgment, motor coordination, which is really a neuropsychological phenomenon that goes down the drain. And that's very interesting about alcohol, and that itself causes a lot of social harm, whether it's people's legal issues, judgment that they make, violent crimes. So that's what I'll leave with alcohol.
All right, thank you. Let's talk about now how somebody calls you up. Hey, I want to quit opiates. I'm strung out. I need to quit. And they come into your office, and let's go from there. How are you going to determine the course of action, and what is treatment involved? And let's go into like the acute withdrawal, chronic withdrawal, and the different medicines and that kind of thing.
In general, the way it is done is there's levels of treatment for depending the intensity and frequency of your use and abuse. Someone's regularly using heroin. It's called, within the clinical criteria, detox. You go into a detox. Then there's a step down to what's called a partial hospitalization, then intensive outpatient treatment and out treatment. For the most part, and I'm not going to comment on that's wrong or right, but the numbers aren't happening.
You don't like the word detox. A lot of people throw that word around, and I want you to explain why. You have a better term for it. And also, when somebody relapses, you have better terminology. So let's hear your reasoning, why what you use instead of the word detox, and why.
Sure. Detox, people talk about, hey, you need to detox. It's in the cultural vernacular, but detox also has a more technical name, and that is a kind of a designation given by level of treatment by the insurance companies and substance abuse and mental health treatment and all that stuff like that. It's when you go right into the initial first few days of coming off drugs. Number one, and if you look at videos from years ago, I was advocating for getting rid of that term. Like a couple of years ago, I believe, the substance abuse and mental health started to use a different term. Detox, the way it's used, and you watch it on the TV shows, it implies some sort of a beginning and end, right? Is the issue, let's just take heroin. Is the issue getting the heroin out of your system? Is that what you mean by detox? So what? That doesn't make you any less of an addict than if you have your system full of heroin. What does detox mean, and what does it do for the disease of addiction? Nothing. It's an initial stage of something that is chronic, relapsing, remitting, and you need to redefine the clinical outcome you're looking at. Once you do that, you will redefine success. Once you do that, you lend that concept to the addict, empower them, destigmatize the issues such as relapses and so forth, and you will be headed on your way for what should be recovery. Detox is really basically medically supervised withdrawals. And as I said, you don't really need medical supervision except if it's alcohol, benzos, or barbiturates. It's painful, and I'll take the pain away. But it's not. I could put you in a jail cell and watch you detox for 5 days. I let you out. You're going to go use. The term itself, the way it's been used, the way promoted on media, and the way the practitioners and treatment centers have used it has never produced any positive outcomes. It's medically facilitated initial withdrawals.